Hey guys, Rob Tatro here, president and founder of the Canadian CMV Foundation. For the second time today, I'm live with you guys on the CMV Checkup. I'm here live with two of my favorite people in the world, strong supporters of CMV Canada and the Canadian CMV Foundation, CMV parents, people that I've known for a very long time, remarkably good folk. Let's introduce them right now. Denis Vielfaure, thank you so much for joining us today on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's been great to see you, Rob.
It says CMV Parents Winnipeg, but I know that you guys are originally from Le Brocquerie. It looks like right now you're at the cottage in Falcon Lake. Good for you guys. Thanks for joining us. So CMV is a story that you guys have known for a long time. First time that you've ever been a part of the CMV Awareness Month in June every year. It's the first time we're part of it. What are your thoughts about the CMV Awareness Month?
Go ahead.
I think it's a great thing that you guys are doing, because just as yesterday, meeting a lady, and we were just talking about our children and our loss, and she had heard about the CMV month and was very curious to know. So I think it's great you guys doing this and bringing the awareness.
Well, thank you. I'm pumped to hear that other people are knowing, because one of the biggest problems we have here at the Canadian CMV Foundation is that awareness for CMV is so low. Nobody's heard of it. So we're trying to raise awareness. This is why we're doing this in June. By the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, please take a second to subscribe to our channel. If you're watching it on Facebook, please click follow and like. We'd love to hear your comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. You mentioned your loss, Nicole.
Yeah.
You want to maybe take me through that story? I remember it was a long time ago, but how old was, Lynn would have been born in 1990, something like that?
Yeah, September of 1990. And she was extremely small when she was born. And I still remember the doctor, and it wasn't my doctor that came in to do a checkup, and just said that her head circumference was very tiny, and her soft spot was so tiny that he was worried. And it took
How old would she have been? How old would she have been at this time?
In the hospital. She was just newly born.
Okay.
But then they just said, let's just wait when your doctor gets here to check. And he would monitor her, and she was growing a little bit at a time, but not much. And probably about the 3.5 months old, we brought her into our doctor because her eye was so swollen. I was scared she had cancer. That's how big her eye was. And when we got there, that was the beginning of the unknown. So they
at that point, we went to a health science center at 3.5 months, and we saw ophthalmologist. Sorry, I can't say that very well in English, but
I can't say it either.
But wow, then we got on a ride. Like, it was amazing how much testing they did on her immediately, and
yeah, we were in the hospital with her for about 3 nights but it took
tests and tests.
It took over about, I would say, 1.5 months to 2 months before they could finally diagnose her with CMV. Nobody had heard of it, and that was the hard part, that waiting to find out.
Yeah. So then that was
in January.
I think we got stability by January. Is that fair?
No, we brought her in January, and
they did some.
It took 1.5 months from there to get results.
1.5 months from there, and at this point, so now she's 4 or 5 months old. Were they kind of suggesting a follow up for vision and for hearing and for brain activity and stuff like that?
Every single test was done. So we were very lucky. We landed up getting such a fantastic doctor, a Dr. Sally Longstaff at Children's Hospital, who got us there with all the right professionals. And from there, I was at probably a Children's Hospital every week with her, sometimes twice a week, with the specialists, and for the eyes and for the brain, hearing. And we found out that she was completely blind, and her hearing was so, and it was watching her suffer. That was the hard part.
Yeah, because of that, all her complications, she wasn't growing either. She was, so they decided, they did a surgery where they They tightened her stomach muscles
Esophagus.
and then put a feeding tube in. And that, as painful as that was a turning point for Lynn,
Because
where
that's-
she started growing.
Yeah, she was 11 pounds at a year old. And once they did the surgery, 11 pounds at a year old, very tiny. And once they did the surgery, that really helped. But we're so lucky here in Manitoba with our healthcare and the professionals that they got us the help. They got me with respite to have help, to help us with our family, to help me personally, because we also had a 3-year-old at the time. And
CNIB were
incredible.
CNIB were rock stars too.
Oh, sorry, who were rock stars, Denis?
CNIB, Canadian National
Canadian
Institute
National
of the
Institute.
Blind.
Yeah.
They got involved and they educated us how to deal with a child that's blind, and yeah, they offered a lot of help.
Yeah, we were very lucky with everything.
So Nicole, were you back then? You're driving back and forth to the city for all the appointments from your hometown, Le Brocquerie?
Yeah, every
and
week.
you're doing
I would
that
go
every week, yeah.
every week. And also
you had
because
you had a 3-year-old.
And we had a 3-year-old. So I was very lucky that Denis' mom would come with me every week and would take care of Eric when I got to the children's hospital. And where was I going to go with that?
Sorry, I interrupted.
Nope, that's okay.
So she's 11 months and now she's got the surgery and she's eating a little bit better, and now you're getting support from CNIB. I imagine she was deaf as well.
They told us that she would eventually lose her hearing, and it was hard because she was in so much pain. Sorry about that, Bob.
That's okay.
That I had to have medication for her, and it would last 1 week. And the only place I could get this medication for her was at the health science pharmacy. So every week, if there was a snowstorm or not, and it would only last that week, we'd have to drive into Winnipeg to pick up her medication and give it to her. So it would help because she also had seizures. And when they explained it to us, like in her brain, it was like an electrical storm going. So it was constant pain. So this medication at least helped to give her a little bit of peace. They didn't know much at the time. It was all experimental what we were doing, and it was just one day at a time. And the doctor was so good. She knew. She would just give me the news I could hear a bit at a time and prepare us. And but she suffered a lot, but she brought us so much joy, so much love. Yeah. So we were blessed. And so when she got really sick, when they operated her on esophagus, she should have never been able to vomit. And there was a snowstorm, of course, in January, and she just started vomiting. And so we waited till it cleared up a bit and brought her to the hospital. And we thought this time when we actually got admitted, it was like they're just going to put her on, give her liquids, and things were looking up. Little did we know, she had a tissue in the back of her stomach wall. So with all her vomiting, it blocked it. So she drowned. Slowly, they didn't know. So the first time we ever felt relaxed going to the hospital, that was the time we lost her. But yeah, so she was 15 months old. It was a day after we found out that there was something wrong with her. It made a complete year. Yeah, complete year.
So you did 1 year knowing that she had CMV, and the day that you're going into the hospital thinking just another routine visit to the hospital, one of many. She passed that day.
Yes. Yeah.
I do remember that day, actually. I was a youngster in Le Brocquerie, and I actually remember that day and how much the community was grieving. Small community, Southeast Manitoba. I remember the whole community grieving. I had no idea back then that it was CMV, nor did I as I grew up as an adult having my kid and having CMV. What were some of the lessons or the feedback, or was there anything that you took from the experience after that you kind of learned and moved forward, or was it I can't imagine how difficult it must be as parents to bury your own child. And I'm not trying to be deep here.
But before we buried her when she was in the hospital, and that was the hardest part. We had looked at each other and we wanted to donate her organs, but because of the damage CMV did to her, none of her organs were usable. And they asked us if we would be willing to let them to do an autopsy to see the cause of death, and also if they could do some research. And for that, to me, is the beginning of all the good things you are doing with that research. She brought a lot to this. She gave you guys a chance with the research that they found, things that you guys could start doing more research on. And I look at your little boy, and as soon as I see him, I'm thinking, my little girl, our little girl, she helped your Alex, who's got such a great chat.
Yep.
So, and yeah.
Yeah. No, that, and yeah. So it's just our like Nicole said, our medical system is incredible. A shout out to Dr. Longstaff. Wow, she took us down the path. Such a respectful woman. And no, but what I think, at back to 40,000 feet, it's awareness. Like, we had no idea. We had no idea till the 3 months, and it's about having more awareness. And today with technology, I think that's thank God we can do these things, and we can share symptoms, share what to look out for, and just having awareness. And that's what it is. And with innovation, back then, innovation's changed in 30 years. And more can be done with less money, and you just gotta leverage that.
To have a support system for the parents that are going through this.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the most important thing. Yeah. They need that support.
I'll never forget Dr. Longstaff when she brought us in her office after those 3 days of tests, and she sat us down and she said, okay, she says, you know what? Yeah, Lynn's very ill, but we got to start with you guys first. She says 50% of the parents who have a child diagnosed with CMV end up separating. So the first thing to do, is
to get support, and that's where she started.
Make sure you guys have support. Make sure each of you are supported, and you're supporting, and you're talking to each other. And
that's right.
Exactly. Again, that's that awareness, not knowing the journey we're going to go through. And
to have the support from her. She would always ask, how are you doing?
Yeah.
How are things? And it wasn't, she always made you feel like you were very capable, and gave you the strength you needed to continue day after day.
Yeah.
And
pardon me? Sorry. No, was he? Sorry.
No, it was that. And I was so shy, and one of my regrets was I never actually did call her after losing Len, because I just had too much trouble. And to thank her for being the doctor and the lovely person she is.
You know what? I believe she's still around, and she's still in the community. I think she's still an infectious disease specialist. I think I probably have her contact info, so I'll connect you guys, and you could draft that email if you'd like to reach out to her, or maybe we'll tag her on Facebook. You talk about innovation. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, please take a sec to subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, please like and follow. The innovation, I think of the South Femme. So there's a center in Montreal where they just kind of support the parents, and just the feedback that you're giving right now with respect to making sure the parents are okay. This is part of the reason we're doing this, right? We want to be deeply involved with parents. I think I was telling you guys just before the show started, we've probably spoken to 20 or 25 parents in the last month or so, just hearing their stories, hearing what's happened to them, how they want to get involved. Different parents choose to get involved different ways. You guys obviously chose to get involved fairly deeply. So that started with you guys donating Lynn for research so that we could do some research. And then later, when I started the Canadian CMV Foundation, you guys immediately reached out to me, and you wanted to get involved. Do you want to talk a bit about why you decided to get involved with the Canadian CMV Foundation and CMV Canada?
Sure.
both as an advisor, both Denis as an advisor to the foundation, and you go above and beyond, and you guys write a check every year to the foundation. So both as donors and as advisors.
Yeah, no, thank you, Rob. No, we're obviously, Rob, yourself being touched by CMV, you took it to heart at quite a while ago, and as when we did speak, you'd tell me what was on your mind, and your goal was to eradicate. Your goal is to eradicate this, and so we had some chats early on, and not that I'm a smart person, but we just to do life experiences, we shared some thoughts, and you just kept moving the ball and higher and higher and farther and farther. So I was very lucky to be able to be involved in a small role at the start, just to give you a little bit of advice, tidbits here and there, and you just drove this thing, and that's incredible. What if you want? I know in my business life, when you want something done, ask a busy person, and they're the ones who get things done. And Rob, you're a prime example of that. And so it was important for me. It was good to support you with your drive and all your initiatives to get this disease eradicated with time. And we're fortunate that we were able to financially also help in parallel with that at certain times, and that gives us another level of comfort to support the cause and move this forward.
You pushed it further too, Denis, because one of the businesses you were associated with back in the day, you guys stepped up. You had a whole weekend fundraising event, and you ended up donating a big chunk of those proceeds. You did your own fundraiser, and you ended up donating a big chunk of those proceeds to the CMV Canada. That was the first real check that I ever got at CMV Canada, and that allowed us to, we had basically $0 in the bank account, and that allowed us to get the website, get the Facebook, get the advocacy going, get the projects going, get the contacts happening with some of the other, and it really gave us a springboard. And now, we got staff, we got parents across the country. If you're a parent and you're watching this, please reach out to us. We'd love to hear your story. We need you to get involved. There's different ways to get involved. You can run a fundraiser. You can donate. We can help you to knock on the Minister of Health's door in your province. We need universal screening passed in every single province. We will not stop until it happens, and it is going to happen. So if you're a parent and you're watching this, you want to get involved, you can get involved as little or as much as you want. As Denis and Nicole here are prime examples of that. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything you guys have done. Is there anything else that you'd like to add? I mean, I know it's been a tough chat, but is there anything else that either of you would like to add?
No, I think just, we didn't mention, but your lovely wife, Michelle, too,
Yes.
who was there, Rob, doing some of that social media, if I remember correctly at the start.
Yeah.
And, you're a family of many children, and I know life's busy and with all the challenges, and you're a growing business. So good for Michelle for also playing a big role in there. And like you say, I totally agree, Rob. Two things to say. Yeah, good for the awareness month. I think, if you can market, some awareness, and just going to help people. And it's one conversation. It can do a 1 degree change in life. So let's have many of those here and move forward. And thank you. Yeah, thank you for driving this.
I was just going to say that without you, Rob, we wouldn't have this awareness month. And you're doing what I wish we could have done then. And without you, Rob, thank you for doing this and helping all these children and families.
Yeah, and making it, very well organized. Great to have now. You got an advisory board. You have an executive director driving this, so that it's just that snowball's going down the hill right now, and it's growing and growing and growing, and that's awesome.
If you're a family out there and you're thinking of becoming pregnant, please talk to your OB about CMV. If one of your friends, family, cousins, nieces is thinking of getting pregnant or is pregnant, please ask them to talk to their OB about CMV. It is the #1 cause of infant disability. Speaking about my lovely wife, Michelle, Denis, Nicole, today is our 13-year wedding anniversary. So I'm going to take her out for dinner after work tonight.
Happy anniversary.
Merci. Ça fait 13 ans. So really pumped. Yeah, it's good. It was trying on us too at first when you're in the hospital and you don't know what your first born. And yeah. So I'm thankful for your time today. I know you guys are busy. I'm gonna just remind people if they want to make a difference, they can go to our website, they can donate, they can go to our website and sign up. They can, at a minimum, sign up to receive our newsletter. You know, we send a monthly newsletter. You should know what's going on in the CMV space. If you're a parent, reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Denis, Nicole, CMV parents, #1 donors to CMV Canada. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. Wish you guys a great day.